Sammy, what do you think? What do you think? You've been in prison a long time. What do you think? Huh? You haven't been McAfee'd. So that's good, right? What about you, Zeus? Let's go outside. Let's go outside. Let's go outside and have a talk. Okay? Happy Saturday afternoon. I'm just gonna go hang with my German Shepherd, Zeusy, and let's go out here. And I want to talk about nature today. This is my backyard. We're going to explore my backyard for good reason. I want to be able to talk to you about a special show that's coming up this next Wednesday. But before I do, based upon what I'm seeing right now, I have some dog shit to clean up. Good boy. Come on, big boy. Come on, don't go over there. Come on. Ah, he had to pee. Gotta pee, all right. Susie, are you ready? You like this, don't you? Huh? All right. Go get him. Come on, big boy. Come on. Wrong direction. Hey, stop having a mind of your own. Bring it on over here, big guy. You love that, don't you? Okay. Are you ready? Huh? Okay, let's go. Ah. Good boy. All right, come on. Drop it. I said drop it, big boy. I said drop it. Good boy. All right. Man, oh man. I wish I was still reading the newsletter. Because if I was still reading the newsletter and the markets continue to crash like they have, man, I'd be buying everything at a discount. Woo! It has been taking a hammering, but we're not going to talk about the market being all red. Today, I want to welcome you to my backyard. And there's a reason for it, guys. It's a beautiful backyard. I think you can see. A lot of green grass. A lot of green trees. Looks like a lot of abundance back there, doesn't it? But guess what it doesn't have? It doesn't have anything that is fruit-bearing. No, sir, no, ma'am, it doesn't. But I want to go for a walk with you, and while I do, I want to talk about an upcoming show that I'm doing this coming Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be with Jim Gale. It is not going to be necessarily crypto-centric, but it's going to be all crypto-centric, if that riddle can be solved. But Jim Gale is the CEO of FoodForestAbundance.com. As we go for a little walk back here through nature, I want to talk about FoodForestAbundance.com. It's so funny. I didn't know who Jim Gale was before this morning. And this morning, I was listening to the Higher Side Chats, his most recent video drop by Greg Carlwood, legend, probably the best interviewer that I have ever heard by a mile. I just love that man. And he had Jim on. And Jim was talking about edible landscapes. So, I was joking earlier that this video is sponsored by Edible Undies. Well, that was a joke. It is really just to tell you about edible landscapes. Hola, Uncle Vigilante. This is the show that we don't tolerate sponsors. But today's show is brought to you by Edible Undies. Yeah, is Uncle V shilling Edible Undies? Stay tuned, you'll find out. So anyway, Jim, he's the CEO of foodforestabundance.com, where his company will work with you and your family to install edible landscapes. And it just really got me thinking. I'm like, in my backyard, I have just an amazing, basically a dog run where I shut that gate and I play catch with my dogs. But let's just go back here. If we take a look, this was before I got the bush hog and just, they say possession is 9/10 of the law. I thought, why not me? Why can't I extend my backyard? So I got a bush hog, and I basically just worked the whole weekend and just, mowed that shit down pretty much. And, but what Jim and his team do is they work with you to choose plants that thrive where you live. So it's basically like you look at this and it's nice and plush and green, and you might call it a forest, part of it back here, right? This down here, the grass, you would probably call certainly a food desert. So what Jim does is he works with you to turn food deserts into food forests. So, he's empowering families to grow organic food, not chemical-laden lawns that we have been trained over time to where that's the bar. That's keeping up with the Joneses is, planting a lawn, making sure it's green. Most of us live in homeowners association where you get bitch slapped if you're not, up to standards. Well, if you don't think that chemical-laden lawns are an issue, then we're going to talk about the terrain theory on getting sick, because something connected with me this morning. But, and also I might say that if you don't think that I'm right over here, Missy. If you don't think our food supply chain isn't fragile, well, you haven't been paying attention lately, for sure. Or maybe you have been paying attention, but it's just been to mainstream news. There is food shortages all over. Ooh, what do I see there? What do I see there, guys? Look at that. Look at that shade. Because it's hot as hell right now. And that shade looks like that has Uncle V's name on it. I think I'm going to get a lawn chair. And I'm going to sit right here and smoke a cigar. What do you think? I think I'll finish talking to you first. But that's what I intend to do. But, last night, first of all, I want to say thank you, Media Bear, for joining me on my show. Last night, Media Bear was on, and we had lots of good conversations. And we even talked about the terrain theory, on how there's one theory to where we talk about how really the reason why we get sick isn't from an invisible enemy boogie virus that you catch, but instead think about all of the chemicals that are on our lawns and we gather on our feet when we walk through them just to be able to have a green lawn. And we bring that into our house, and then we walk, without shoes. Our dogs are laying down, and we're petting our dogs, and next thing you know, we have chemicals from the lawn that are on our bodies, that are in our food, because we touch our food, we eat. And instead of catching a boogie virus, have you ever thought that maybe you're catching some lawn chemicals? I mean, that makes you stop and go, doesn't it? It does me. It does me. So, when you think about it, green lawns, chemicals and poisons, right? And store-bought food or store-bought food grown in chemical poisoned industrial farms, guys, how do you think that they make those tomatoes so damn big and red? Do you think that's Mother Nature? You know, the same big fat red tomatoes that'll last a month in a food truck before it ever gets to a retail location. Do you think that isn't induced by gene modification theory? You don't think that those big old red beautiful tomatoes haven't gotten their second jab? Well, I submit to you that they have. And food grown in chemical poison farms are toxified, and we're eating that shit. So that food is going into our bodies. So that is one way that our cells become toxic. Just one way. And, you know, for those environmentalists out there or vegans who think that you're taking the higher road because you're just eating store-bought organic food, right? And I agree with you. I think if you do buy veggies, you should buy them from if you buy them from the store, it should be organic for sure. But think about it. Think about the fact that, you know, food is trucked around the world in order to get into your and my ever-growing stomachs, right? It's harvested using equipment that utilizes energy that is not clean, nor is it renewable, right? So, I don't know, you know, guys, one of my favorite questions is what? Why not us? Well, I was listening to this podcast by Greg Carlwood, and I was listening to Jim talk about why not turn your backyard into a forest of abundance. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It just takes the will to do it. And so in the spirit of why not us, you know, why don't we figure out our environment and grow our own food in our own yards? Guys, I don't have an excuse. I got lots of room to play with. And the reason why I am filming this like I am, instead of my traditional cigar walk, is I want to be able to have a video for Jim to review before we go on air on Wednesday night, because I want to show him what I'm working with. And Jim, where I'm standing down here, let me go back up here. Where I'm standing, if we go up here, Jim, can I call you Jimmy? Jimmy? Why not us? Okay, see this? How I'm going uphill, up. So up here, it's level. And so back here is where, you know, I let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? Well, I have to. I have 3 dogs. 2 of them are really big. And they give me lots of fertilizer, Jim. So I think that's good, right? I need to figure out a compost pile, because all of their shit, it's a lot of shit that I throw away every I probably waste. But so back here, Jim, there's a flat area. If you take a look at those, that fence right there, that fence to that fence, this is a big wide open area that's flat that I could develop into something. And this happens to be my property line. If you take a look at that post over there. Now, when you go down the hill, which we'll do right now, let me just stop right here. You know, looks beautiful, right? Well, this is Florida. And when it storms in Florida and it rains like a mofo, I have seen this whole area where it looked like a lake. So we have to be really keen and strategic on if we turn this into a forest of abundance back here, because I want to be your poster child, Jim. I want to be able to have your counsel, and let's get this done. Let's do this, and we can document it, and then share it over time. So we'll talk more about that on Wednesday, but I want you to know that this ultimately goes underwater for a short period of time anyway, and especially on this side. This side will stay underwater a lot longer than this side will. Okay, so we have to think about that. So if there is anything that, will probably not be underwater for a long period of time, it would be this side. Be where those trees are growing, this half. But that side, man, it really, really, really gets underwater. So back to why don't we figure out our environment and grow our own food in our own yards, But what about the fact that I have an HOA? Huh, Jim? What about that fact? I live in an HOA, right? I mean, if you take a look, I have neighbors. I have neighbors up there. And we have the little HOA police that I think they were taped in lockers when they were young, because the only power that they have in life is being, the chief HOA ticket writer, and they ride around. But I think when you were talking to Greg, you were saying that you live in an HOA community too, and kind of what happens in your backyard stays in your backyard, right? And we can talk about what you might be able to do in your front yard. But that is something that we have to talk about. What I gathered from your interview was that just because you live in an HOA doesn't mean you can't turn part of your property into a forest of abundance. So what are the benefits of growing your own food? Let's talk about that. First and foremost, I think you'd all agree, your fruit will have not gotten its second jab. It's not been waiting in line at CVS and in between McDonald's runs and Dunkin' Donuts runs, has not gotten the second jab. So what you have there is you have God's quality control, which I'll bet on him. Then you have food shortages. I can't remember the farmer dude that he's all over social media, but he's the one. You'll remind me on Wednesday, but he's the one that talks about the food shortages all the time, and he keeps track of that. And from what I understand, there are food shortages everywhere, and it's being controlled. The same people that are issuing mandates that you must wear masks, and the same people that control the mainstream media. Those are the same people that that control the farms. I think Bill Kill Gates, I believe that his hobby this last year has been buying up all of the farmland across the country. Wonder why? Do you think it's with our best interests in mind? I'm thinking not. I'm thinking there is a carefully orchestrated food shortage that is coming to a city near us. What do you guys think? Another benefit would be nutrition and taste. That's one thing I learned when you have vine ripe abundance, edible abundance, then that is when God says, when it's ready to come off, that's when he, in how he coded this video game, is those who are fortunate enough to pick that vine ripe fruit and the vegetables in your backyard, on your land, that's going to be when it's the most nutritious and edible. And so I'm really interested in learning more about that. Another thing that we're going to talk about is permaculture. So what is permaculture? Let's see if we have our favorite hawk up there. I don't know if this gimbal camera, no, it's not going to let me point up, or at least I don't know how to do that. Well, permaculture is the growth of agricultural ecosystems in a self-sufficient, sustainable way. Permaculture draws inspiration from nature to develop strategic farming systems based on crop diversity, resilience, natural productivity, and sustainability. So, I mean, think about it, guys. I was joking earlier about edible undies, but there's such a thing called edible undies. Don't think you want to Google search that. I know a bunch of you will now. And, you know, I'm going to highly recommend the cherry flavor. I'm just joshing you. I don't like cherry. I like strawberry. Come on, you knew I was joking. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, there's edible undies, but we're going to Wednesday, we're going to talk about edible landscapes, guys. I mean, imagine, what if this tree right here, what if this maturing tree was a fruit-bearing tree that delivered a couple hundred fruit every year? Be more than enough for me and my family. I'd be able to share it with, my neighbors. I could be neighborly. I could care for others, not just myself. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So imagine if you had a bunch of those trees. Imagine if you planned it to where they yielded fruit at different part of the years, or vegetables. I don't know. We're going to learn Wednesday, guys. Because the fact is, here's the fact, guys. Crypto's not going to mean shit when the electric grid goes down. Crypto's not going to mean shit when there's food shortages. Crypto's not going to be shit when the powers that be screw with fuel, and there's fuel shortages, so those trucks can't get the food to their destined places. Crypto's not going to mean shit when these industrial farmers can't ship their eggs, right? They have to throw them away, or their chickens, or anything that they're growing, their beef, that they just have to destroy them because they can't get them to their predetermined destination. So, you know, when all of these shortages hit home, guys, crypto won't mean shit. So as much as this is a crypto-centric channel, I just wanted to come to you live today to talk to you about the interview on Wednesday, where maybe if we're not careful, we might just learn a little something. Maybe we'll learn how to turn our backyard into our personal grocery store. All organic, all ours, chemical-free, abundance, delicious abundance. And you know what? Some of you entrepreneurial types, maybe you create so much abundance that you end up starting a little business on the side to where you might be able to sell some at a farmer's market somewhere. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if we're going to talk about diversifying our portfolios, why not take care of our most basic needs first? Are you with me? I think you are. And I thank you for listening. And I invite you tonight, please. It is Saturday. And thank you, Nathan Stoltman, who is the host of LTV Crypto on YouTube and other places. But LTV Crypto, I'm going to be on with Nathan at 8 p.m. tonight. So I really appreciate the invitation. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really like Nathan and his wife, Katie. And if you're interested in any crypto-related T-shirts, look in the description below. I have it embedded down there in every one of my shows because I'm a customer of theirs. And indeed, their USA manufactured shirts are fantastic, very high quality. And let's see, Tuesday I have UPixel. I'm going to be interviewing them at 7 o'clock. It is another bees.social project, and I really like those guys, so we're going to unpack those. And then Wednesday, man, yeah, I'm so damned excited. This is going to be fun with Mr. Jim Gale, and we're going to all learn a lot. So I hope you join me. And in the meantime, cheers.
Greetings. Used to be named Uncle Odd, but now I'm known as Uncle Vigilante. And as you can see by the fact I'm wearing a gold chain with a Bitcoin on it, I'm kind of a big deal. Yeah, I'm a big deal. But there is one thing that my 43 attorneys that I just hired told me that I needed to say, which is a disclaimer. Don't take any of my advice. Don't take anything that I say on this show or any of my guests as sage counsel. Why? Because I don't know shit.